Wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowds along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Come and listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. You ignored my advice and rejected the correction I offered. So I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock you when disaster overtakes you, when calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. When they cry for help, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me. For they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. For simpletons turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency. But all who listen to me will live in peace.
Wisdom shouting in the streets? Is that like a lady in Manhattan yelling "taxi" in an old black and white movie? Not really. I think it's more to do with the public demonstration of what is wise and widespread access for the public to what is wise. It begs the question, are you listening? In contrast, Solomon addresses three specific groups of people: simpletons, mockers, and fools. What do they have in common? Well, they're not listening. They resist taking advantage of what is publicly available and accessible to everyone. Well, everyone but them, because of their own simple-minded, foolish ridicule. In other words, your choices make you who you are. The only reason that Miss Wisdom is addressing these three groups is because they acted themselves into existence. This sounds harsh, judgmental, and condemning, and it is. And it's based in truth. Listen to what she says. I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. You ignored my advice and rejected the correction I offered. What an indictment to make. It doesn't appear that these are isolated incidences. Everyone makes mistakes, but this is not what we're talking about. The implication is that by the continual rejection of what is commonly understood as wise, healthy, and prudent, one can carve out an identity. You can be known for what you do. Reputation. Well, what happens now? You experience the consequences of your actions. The writer projects that disaster will overtake you, calamity will overtake you, and anguish and distress will overwhelm you. These consequences are bad enough, but the real punch in the gut is how wisdom will respond to the anticipated cries for help. I will laugh when you are in trouble. When they cry for help, I will not answer, though they anxiously search for me. They will not find me. That's mean. Okay, it's cruel. But 1 + 1 always equals 2. What does Newton's third law state? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. These were their actions. But it's not a one and done, as we've said earlier. These actions were habits. Habits, like all actions, are born from our beliefs. Our collective beliefs are the building blocks of identity. Don't forget, Miss Wisdom is talking to the simpleton, the mocker, and the fool, and it takes a while to build that kind of identity. And this is the ending result. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way. And what was their own way? They showed hatred for knowledge. They routinely chose not to respect or fear the Lord. They always rejected advice and regularly paid no attention when corrected. Well, that's a lot of work in a clear direction. The results, the bitter fruit, it's not mean, it's not cruel. It's the logical, methodical result of habitual behavior.